We are kicking things off in the kitchen for a zero waste showdown with our chefs, Jason Parsons and Nick Liu. Hey, chefs. So this challenge is all about minimizing waste in the kitchen, and you both are going to be using mostly food scraps to come up with a delicious recipe. We know we cannot be wasting food right now for the environment, for your wallet. So Jason, I'm going to start with you. How do you minimize waste when you're cooking on a daily basis?
Oh, you know, the thing is, I don't think of it as waste because I think of it as trim. I think of, you know, when you just gotta basically go out and buy what you need for a recipe. Yeah. And when you do that recipe, put the rest aside and then take a look at it, you know, because the thing is there's a lot of things there that we don't realize. You know, we're standing over top of a garbage and we just do peeling and whatever, but those peelings have flavor. Those, you know, little gills from the mushrooms have flavor and things like that. You know, you're cleaning beef and you got little tips there. You can make another meal. So, you know, really stand back and look at what you've got, preserve it for the next day, or you've already inspired your recipe for the next day.
There are so many things we've gotten so used to getting rid of, like the stalk of the broccoli, like the skin of the carrot. Yep. You're saying if you wash that carrot, the skin is just like, it's clean. You can use that for something. You can use the stalk of the broccoli, use it all. So you both are restaurateurs. So we learn from you because you are not trying to waste anything, because that's bad economics. Absolutely. It's bad money. Yes. Yeah. So chef in the kitchen, do you find it hard to minimize waste in your kitchen?
Well, something that you really got to get under control.
Yes.
Right? Because anything that you throw in the garbage, right, is worth money.
Yeah.
So you got to be really creative in finding ways to take waste products and creating a dish, right, that you can sell and make a little bit more profit. Okay,
so we're going to see just how creative you can get. Let's see what is under here. We have a whole bunch of food waste. Oh, delicious. Wow. No, but this is actually very realistic. If you could just maybe go through the tray there and tell us what we got.
Let's see what we got here.
What do we got?
I can see some, obviously, well, stale bread.
Yeah, toast that up.
And it's funny, I was just talking about the tips, but when you're cutting your portioning of beef, so obviously the trim from that. Yeah. But I love this. We've got onion peelings, we've got broccoli stems. What do you got over there? You got
some trout bones. That looks from the ribs. Some shrimp shells.
Yeah.
These are from the
hair.
Hair from the these
How did that get in there? Wait a minute.
Corn silk.
Some corn silk. Oh, that sounds so much nicer.
Pepper tops drive me crazy because everybody wants everything pretty. So you take a pepper and you cut the top and the bottom off, and it's like, oh, it's nice and pretty.
So much
it's the same pepper. It's just the wrong shape, you know?
Yes, absolutely. So, okay, so a whole bunch of things here that make perfect sense, and we're all throwing it away, and we should not be. No. But when I see things like the trout bones, I'm like, come on, chef. What am I gonna do with the bones of the trout? Like, how is that not waste? Do you know, what would you do with that?
I think I would take, I mean, you know, like you got bones, right? You got trout, you got ribs, right? When I think ribs, I think barbecue, right? So I think what I would do with it is maybe, you know, give it a little bit of a dusting, deep fry them till they're nice and crispy so they're like crackling, brush it with some barbecue sauce, and then grill it, right? And then, and then try and figure out something with the corn, because I think, you know, barbecue and corn kind of go really well.
Well, that corn, maybe you could totally, like, if you took some little wood chips or something and smoked that, you know, and corn, I mean, it's
How do you smoke corn? What do you put it on the barbecue?
Yeah, you just take some little wood chips, put them in a little tin foil, put them on the barbecue, put your corn on there, close it, and you get smoked, right? You know?
Yeah.
But that would turn into an amazing sauce or a soup because there's a lot of starch in there. So it thickens it, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
I look at the shrimp shells and I think that those are the annoying things I want out of my mouth as quickly as possible. What are you using them for as a chef?
That's money right there, right?
That's money? Am I throwing money in the compost?
Any lobster bisque, shrimp chowder, anything you've had is made from the shells, not from the actual shrimp or the lobster, because the lobster, they make it like muddy and dirt. That's the flavor right there.
That's gold in a kitchen.
Yeah.
Talk to me about the meat. So I think a lot of us are used to having like the best cut of the meat, and then we're getting rid of stuff that we shouldn't be getting rid of. How can we be better about our meat, either our portions or what we're doing with it?
Well, I think portions are a big thing, you know, because I think we tend to pile everything on our plate, and then next thing you know, we don't eat it all, you know, and it's a waste, right? Whereas it's better if we portion things out, especially, you know, you buy a whole beef tenderloin and you portion that down, your cost, it's expensive to buy that, but if you buy individual steaks all the time and then add it up,
it's
going to way more, like double, if not more, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And the nice thing about taking a whole tenderloin is you portion that up, all that trim becomes a stir fry, or grind it up, make burgers, meatballs, whatever you want. And that's not just, you know, fish, you know, and things like that as well. Like anything, buy it whole.
Now, I live with someone who's sort of like the human trash compactor, and that's my husband. So if you are eating the wings and you don't finish the meat, he will finish it for you. And I'm just wondering, if you were at you're both in your restaurants and you see the stuff people send back, the waste they send back, does it not drive you insane?
It drives me up.
Yeah.
Like that's food that there are people on the street that don't have food, and then they're wasting the food. So I think the rule of thumb is take what you need, don't take more.
But you gotta have a good balance on a plate too, right? So to me, like, you know, a steak, like a nice tenderloin, you could do like 6 ounces, or fish about 6 ounces, right? But you don't put that on with 2 peas and a carrot and say, off you go, right? You gotta give it more vegetables to go with it, right?
Right.
Because so that they enjoy the whole meal, right?
Yeah.
I think if you just, like, a lot of us will make steak chips at home, so we have a steak and some French fries. And because the steaks are small, then we eat more fries, we eat more fries, we eat more fries. And next thing you know, the COVID belly's still hanging around, you know? Like, so you gotta be careful.
It's well earned.
I know.
Okay, I love this. I'm gonna leave you both to get to work because they're actually gonna whip up recipes throughout the show with all of the food. What are we calling them, Jay?
Trimmings.
Trimmings.
Not scraps, trimmings.
Not the scraps. We're gonna check in later on the final result. So let the cooking begin, all right?